This is Afternoons with Paula Kruger on ABC Radio Canberra.
Well, with you right now is business journalist and TV presenter Del Irani, who has co-written an article shared on her LinkedIn webpage, and it's called Don't Waste a Good Crisis, How to Innovate During Fear and Uncertainty. Del, welcome to Afternoons on ABC Radio Canberra. How are you going today?
I'm good, thanks, Paula. It's great to be with you. Thanks so much for having me on the show.
Absolutely. Now, your article on your LinkedIn page really caught my eye because, you're always pretty up, Del, but it really surprised me to see something like this in the terms that you're putting it in, that this is an opportunity, and it's an opportunity to innovate. Like, why should businesses be considering opportunities during COVID-19?
Well, I think what you said in the introduction was a really great setup, Paula. I think, right now we're at a time where I think it's really easy to be crippled by the fear and uncertainty. And I would be lying if I said that there haven't been times in the past few weeks, because, here in California we've been in lockdown for 4 weeks, where it has not been crippling, where, it's not been completely paralyzing. But I think what you have to look at is, even in times of crisis, there is opportunity. And to the intro where you talked about Airbnb, just want to add a couple of other companies that are now worth billions of dollars. Uber was founded in 2009, Snapchat in 2011, WhatsApp in 2010. They're all tech companies. But it goes to show you that even in the darkest of moments, and the global financial crisis really was the worst financial recession since the Great Depression, and it was a global, it impacted everyone, did see some amazing entrepreneurship and amazing companies emerge out of it. And I wanted to share those stories and talk to experts and get some tips, because I think we're all going through this. We're all trying to put on a brave face and show up and do the radio show or do, run our businesses. But I think it sometimes can be hard to think, oh my God, how are we going to get through this? Like, how do you make money? How do you trade when global trade is starting to slow down or the stock market is falling? And so it was a really good conversation, and we got some really great tips out of it, which I hope that are practical or at least uplifting, and people can take it with them in their daily life.
What were some of the pearls of wisdom that was passed on to you, Del?
Well, one of my favourites was, of course, that quote that one of the guys I spoke to said. He's like, don't waste a good crisis. And that, like I said, that goes to the point of, in moments of crisis, there are always opportunities. You mentioned small businesses. They are particularly hard hit. And I think right now it's really easy if you're a small business to think the worst, to think doom and gloom. But a really good point that was made was that, being small actually can be an advantage, because you're a bit more agile. You can be a bit more flexible. Survival for the bigger companies can often be a lot more complicated. And some really great tips, like, for example, as a small business, maybe think about doing some subcontract work, because the bigger agencies, they might have to lay off workers, but the work still has to be done. So as a small company, could you step in and fill that hole? If you're a retail business and you've been wanting to go online for a while, but you're too busy manning the stores, well, guess what? It's a great time to set up that Instagram account, or, do the website, or shift that focus to where the future is going to be. And also I thought one of the really great tips was, big companies, and I think so many companies are just focused on survival. Instead of focusing on survival, if you can focus on innovation, you might actually get ahead of your competition. This might be the best time, while no one else is looking and everybody else is so busy just trying to keep their head above water. You could be thinking of, well, could I be the next Uber, or could I be, the next Snapchat or WhatsApp, and using this as an opportunity to maybe do some of the different things and innovate. And, you could come out of the other end of this crisis and be the billion-dollar companies we're talking about right now.
Del, I spotted a questionnaire recently that said, who led digital innovation in your organisation? Was it your CEO? Was it your CTO? Or was it COVID-19? And pretty much everyone was saying it was COVID-19.
That's so true, Paula. And I couldn't agree with that more. I saw the same one. I think I saw it on LinkedIn or on social media. And, they're saying that basically what COVID-19 has done, according to all the futurists out there, is it has taken the workplace transformation that was inevitable, but that maybe we thought was going to happen, in the next decade. And now it's forced upon us. I mean, you look at a company like Zoom, which is, the platform that most people are using now to do virtual meetings. And they have, in the last few weeks alone, they went from pretty, average to $1 billion company. So I think it is about finding yourself in the right position. And if you're not, if you're a business that perhaps wasn't in the right position, like I said, a brick and mortar company that knew, I know it's online, but I'm too busy, or there's so much red tape or whatever. Well, suddenly all of that stuff has been freed up for you, and you can sort of complain about it or be upset about it, or you can adapt. And that was really the point of the conversation, which is like adapt or die. You have to innovate to stay ahead.